the oldest trick in the book. If you want to buy a lot of something, what do? You shit on it.
I was wrong. I made a mistake. I didn't realize the extent of the mass price manipulation that is occurring in crypto right now. Bitcoin being down, like we're seeing it, is unnatural. These crypto prices being down, at least the good ones, this is unnatural. And now we know it. We know that institutions are buying here. We know that they are pushing certain narratives to scare people far away from Bitcoin and crypto so that they are able to get the best possible prices before they pump the crypto market up to Valhalla. Make sure you watch today's whole video. We have a lot to talk about. It is very possible that BlackRock, Donald Trump, Jamie Dimon, maybe even Michael Saylor are all working together to make this dump happen for the sole reason of being able to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and quality crypto cheaper. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. Guys, I'm afraid they're going to try to censor today's video or at least nerf its reach. I mean, who knows if this video will even be up in 24 hours. Everybody needs to make sure you engage, hit the like button, send this video to a friend, and overall, post this video link everywhere. They cannot censor what I'm about to reveal to you if we engage, if we share this content quickly. Let's get into it. How does something like this happen? How does price manipulation occur? How is it possible that Larry Fink, Donald Trump, Jamie Dimon, maybe even Michael Saylor are all able to do this without getting in trouble? First of all, let's understand that they don't even have to talk or explicitly collude to make this happen. It is well documented that this is a tactic the rich use to get richer. They know how it all works. It is a tale as old as time, and surprisingly, they can do this and it's not illegal. Glenn Beck did a show on this like 5-6 years ago, explaining and explicitly showing examples of Jamie Dimon, BlackRock, specifically manipulating crypto prices. This clip is only 1 minute in length, but it is incredibly revealing and worth sharing. Pay attention.
This is how the rich get richer.
Yes.
They know, they're connected. A lot of times they're coordinating without the insider trading. This is not illegal to do.
No, manipulating the news cycle, if you're smart about it, is they can get away with it. Nobody's ever been arrested for anything like this.
So with crypto, I know personally, I know people that would have gotten in or stayed in if these people weren't saying what they're saying.
Right, and so this has really been extremely egregious. So on September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. People listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
And even outside of crypto, even well-regulated markets like the public markets on Wall Street today, they do this. TradFi insiders like Jim Cramer, before he got really famous, have admitted to doing this, that they did this all the time, that this manipulation still goes on today. Creating false narratives, selling into weakness to create lower prices. Jim Cramer explains 20 years ago what is still happening today.
You would hit this guy and that guy when you would see an offering. When you see a guy who's bidding, you'd wipe out that guy very quickly. And what I used to do, if I wanted to go higher, I would take and bid, take and bid, take and bid. And if I wanted to go lower, I'd hit an offer, hit an offer, hit an offer. And I could get a stock like RIM for maybe, that might cost me 15, 20 million, Annie, to knock RIM down. But it would be fabulous because it would beleaguer all the moron longs who are also keying on research and motion. So I see we're seeing, we're seeing that. That's, again, when your company's in a survival mode, It's really important to defeat research in motion and get the Pisanis of the world and the people talking about it as if there's something wrong with RIM. Then you would call the journal and you get the bozo reporter on research in motion, and you would feed that there's a Palm's got a killer it's going to give away. These are all the things you must do on a day like today, and if you're not doing it, maybe you shouldn't be in the game. Okay.
So this is an open secret among elites. This is par for the course. This is the playbook. You talk to anyone in the know, like we did with Morgan Creek founder Mark Yusko, and he will tell you this is exactly what they do. They crash the price, buy in cheap, and then pump prices higher than you've ever thought possible. It is literally the oldest trick in the book.
The oldest trick in the book. If you want to buy a lot of something, what do? You shit on it. Right? When George Soros wanted to corner the market in copper, right? What did he do? He didn't go out and buy a bunch of copper. He went out and sold a bunch of copper and spread rumors that copper was going to zero. Then you swoop in and buy a whole bunch after the price collapses.
So let's talk about the market right now. Let's talk about the manipulation in the market right now. This price dip, this was crypto's largest liquidation event since 1010. In fact, this was one of the highest liquidation events for crypto in years. BlackRock is doing this. Wall Street is doing this. Jamie Dimon FUDs the crypto industry, but we know behind the scenes, JP Morgan is one of crypto's biggest bulls. Quantum risks have been largely overblown. Crypto is dead. Only stock market narrative, largely overblown. Saylor selling his Bitcoin, largely overblown. They're trying to get prices as low as possible before the Clarity Act will be signed into law. This is the largest piece of financial regulation since Dodd-Frank, the largest piece of crypto regulation ever.
This is some competition for them. They view it as competition. I think that they should embrace digital assets. It's going to be part of the financial products they can offer in the future. We're going to have a digital dollar, a digital Bitcoin, digital alternative coins. It's going to be a new financial landscape, and I'd like to see the traditional banking industry embrace it instead of fight it.
They're trying to get prices as low as possible before the next iteration of the strategic Bitcoin reserve is announced.
And I couldn't agree more with you that economic security is national security. I gave a speech at the Reagan Library outlining my thoughts on that and how for 25 years the U.S. has been asleep, and under President Trump's leadership, we are moving forward very quickly on that. And part of that is our digital assets initiative. The strategic Bitcoin reserve is something. This is new technology. This is new ground. We are proceeding with all deliberate speed, and we are making sure that as we are doing this, in this complicated process, that we use best practices and things will be durable for the future. And I look forward to working with you and your team on that. Absolutely. And I look forward to the Clarity Act being passed this summer.
And I'm not the only one sharing this news on the mass manipulation happening in crypto right now. People are starting to document this. So Bitcoin could drop further. I believe that would be a massive buying opportunity. These are the levels I'm looking for. My bear case for how low Bitcoin drops is about $51,000. If this head and shoulders plays out, Bitcoin will reach about $51,000. This happened 3 times last cycle. There's only 2 red lines here, but the third one should be here. And if these bear flags play out, Bitcoin hits $51,000 and then changes course and starts heading up. 51K is my bear case. My base case is actually $61,000, or the 200-week moving average. Historically, very good support. And with the stock market at all-time highs, people buying the S&P 500 well above the 200-day moving average, but you're not willing to buy Bitcoin close to the 200-week moving average, this is why the majority of investors don't make money. Even in bull markets, big dips are very common. So institutions are 100% buying this dip, and people don't even realize they have many ways that they're able to buy this dip. Bitcoin for institutions is fundamentally different than any other previous crypto bear cycle. Bitcoin is fundamentally stronger in this bear market than any other previous bear cycle. The CEO of Maple Finance here on Charles Schwab's network explains why.
We're starting to see some institutions come in and look to buy at these levels.
You did mention the infrastructure surrounding Bitcoin and saying that it's fundamentally stronger than in any other previous cycle. Could you explain that?
Oh, definitely. So, I think this cycle we now have ETFs, we have significant futures and derivatives markets around Bitcoin with the CME, the numerous ETFs, whether it's BlackRock's IBIT or some of the others. So there are now more and more means for institutions who want to get Bitcoin exposure to do so, whether it's through holding the ETF directly or through using synthetic derivatives to try and replicate that exposure. And I think this is why, notwithstanding we've seen a 40% drawdown, I mean, typically you have to remember, Nicole, that in past cycles you might have a 70 or 75% drawdown from top to bottom. So that volatility is getting a little bit less each cycle. And it means that there are also just more market participants who can scoop up the bottom when we do get towards 52-week lows.
The 4-year moving average actually lines up fairly well with the 200-week moving average, and that's around 61K. And if Bitcoin dips to 61K, historically, 90% hit rate, that's 6 months after, Bitcoin will be up 52%. 100% hit rate, 12 months, 130%, 18 months, 230%, 24 months, 325%. If history rhymes, buying here will make you rich. There is a lot of reasons to be bullish, my friends. Buying when sentiment is in the gutter like this is a surefire way to get rich without getting lucky. My name is Aaron. Subscribe to Altcoin Daily. We are the largest crypto community in the world. We have a lot of great content coming out soon, including interviews from top people in the space. So subscribe to our channel, join our team, and I'll see you tomorrow, my friends.